What's up, everybody? It's your favorite extraterrestrial conquering madman's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Marvel Legends Avengers Wave 2 Build-A-Figure Thanos. I know I haven't done the other figures yet. This was, I guess it's relatively time sensitive, so I wanted to get it up for you guys. Let's make it happen. Real quick, before we build them, we're going to talk about the paint on each piece. I don't know why I haven't done that in the past, but I figured it would be beneficial. So for the head, it's got a purple and then it's got like a black wash, maybe a dark purple wash over it. I kind of like the way it looks. And the teeth are all painted fairly well on mine. There's a couple little, odds and ends, but overall not too bad. And then there's like a metallic blue on top of the black for the eye, and then a white dot kind of for the reflection in the eye. The gold does chip here. The gold isn't painted and carried through on all parts of the crown. But it is pretty clean. It's a good looking face sculpt for Thanos. I got a little gold mishap right there, but not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. The arms are pretty much standard issue. They're a fair amount of glossy kind of look to the blue, and that's throughout. But not a lick of paint. We got like some of that odd bit of business going on there, a little scuffing and so forth. Got some silver painted on the hand here, and it does. There's a flat blue underneath. I wish they would have gone with the flat blue overall. Silver's painted fairly clean. Looks like it got away from him a little bit on that knuckle, but overall not too bad. I like the sculpt of the hand too. The other arm, pretty much the same thing. We got the fisted hand and the paint here. There's this yellow paint that fills in this divot here throughout the armor, and there's some touch and go elements to it, but overall it looks okay. But I think it's the same. I don't know if because of the legs it is. The legs drive me nuts, but okay, so that's good. See how they mirror each other? Nicely done. I dig it. For this bit, we got the gold going through here. It gets out of control on the blue. It does carry through up there. We got gold. All they had to do was paint one gold stripe, and they kind of even messed that up. Gold down the back. And then we got this soft piece here with the yellow painted in the divots there. It gets away from them there, but overall not too bad. This is like a little crown piece that he wears, and this yellow is actually painted quite well. That fills in there, doesn't really get out of the lines at all. The gold is kind of a flat gold like it is throughout. But on the legs, the silver is more metallic, which kind of drives me nuts, but that might be a personal thing. Now the legs, it's the same piece here on the bottom. You see that? So they don't mirror each other for these golden bits here, and you can't turn it because they're all, or maybe you can. Maybe mine's just too tight. I bet you can. It just takes some work. But in the box packaged, it comes like this. I'll see if I can't muck about with it and fix it. But, that's frustrating, right? It's a Build-A-Figure. Let's put a little effort in. And then the silver and the black. It's like some black shading throughout, but it gets a little bit out of control there. Overall, fairly clean. Let's put them together. These two ports plug in there, and it's the diamond to the back and the rounded edge to the front. And let's see how much problem this head is going to give us. Oh, that went on pretty. Oh, oh. And there he is. So let's take a look at him. Okay, so articulation-wise, head is on that ball hinge that you saw. No left to right kind of wiggle, but you get the swivel and the tilt, which works fine. Ball hinge shoulders, they get you out to there, and then they will swivel, but you will knock this other thing out, which will be obnoxious. I got news for you. This is going to limit you. You're pretty much going to come out to here. Now, he's not the most dynamic posing character to have on your shelf anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Just pointing it out. Bicep swivel. Elbow that gets you that far, which is ridiculous, right? Swivel and a hinge for the hand that work fine. Same on the other side. We got a ab crunch that gets you one click forward, and then you do the Harlem Shake a little bit. And then you can click back and he kind of locks in place. Waist swivel. This belt does impinge it a bit. T-jointed ball joints for hips that get you nothing really out to the side. You do get a fair amount forward, a little bit back. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knee that works fairly well. Calf swivel, which is silly. Hinge on the foot at the ankle, and then the rocker. But we do, this guy does call for a bit of a comparison. Okay, so there he is next to the Marvel Select Thanos, and that's the Thanos that I use on my shelf. And I just kind of prefer the Select size. I kind of prefer the old school kind of traditional comic book look. I know this, I think this is a little bit more movie accurate and it's from Marvel now. I just kind of prefer like the overall size and aesthetic of the old school Thanos from Marvel Select. Just another size comparison. There he is next to the new Iron Man. We'll be looking at him soon. I just kind of dig that just super imposing size. But that's me. You know, individual results may vary. This guy's much more articulated and all that sort of stuff. So if I just don't feel like articulation is that important for Thanos, but you may feel differently. So it's definitely a personal preference kind of thing. Final thoughts, I don't know. I can't really... okay, if you were in for the Avengers wave, I would say he's an added bonus. But if you were going to pick up the Avengers wave just to get a Thanos, I don't think this is the Thanos you want. It's not terrible. It's just not great. I think that if this was like a $20 Marvel Legend, you know, you'd be perfectly okay with it. But it's the fact that it's the Build-A-Figure, I just feel like that carries a little bit more in the expectation department. There's just some issues with this thing just in the terms of aesthetics. The paint is okay. The mold is decent. The articulation is meh, but articulation isn't that big of a deal with this character. The size is just not quite up to snuff for me. It's not poorly done. It's just not enough for a Build-A-Figure. Like, I feel like a Build-A-Figure should be, you know, over the top. Now, it is a new mold, so you do get that, but I don't know, man. I can't recommend this with a good conscience. I feel like if you think about this, if you're buying 6 Marvel Legends figures at $20 a piece, that's $120. So if you were buying $120 Thanos, I don't think that this is what you want. Now, if you're in for the Avengers wave, it's not a bad Thanos to have. So that's the bonus of it. It's hard for me to pick out exactly what's right about it. Like the paint on the face I like a lot, and it does feel nice to have a more articulated Thanos, but there's just a lot wrong that's hard to put your finger on. It's not as easy to pick out when something's super wrong. Like, for instance, nobody does it this way. Shout out to Andrew. You know, he's not as fulfilling as Groot, but he is much more fulfilling than Hobgoblin. At least it's a main character. At least it's a character that you want. I think that if you approach this thing like, hey, it's an added bonus, I really want a lot of these other Avengers characters, then, you know, you'll be more than happy with what you got here. I just think that Thanos is such a popular character and such a character that people have been wanting a legend of for so long that people are going to chase this wave to build this figure, and I'm not sure they're going to feel like he's worth it in the end. I feel fortunate in that respect that these Avengers, I'm kind of new to the Marvel Legends collecting game, so most of these characters I wanted anyway. But for those who have been around the block a few times when it comes to this line, I don't know. But only you can make that call, my friends. All I can tell you is how I feel about it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.